You're listening to Sip and Grow the podcast, the show where we taste awesome, delicious wines while having unfiltered conversations about our passions, experiences, struggles, entrepreneurship, and life. My name is Nicole Di Pasquale, and I'm a wine enthusiast just trying to pursue her passions and dreams while taking you on the journey with me, one episode at a time. My ultimate goal is to not only bring you wine knowledge and value, but also inspire you to enjoy your process and journey in pursuing your passions and dreams. Because guess what? The person you become while enduring the process is more important. So sit back, grab a glass, and let's sip and grow together. Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sip and Grow the podcast with me, your host, Nicole Di Pasquale. So today I am going to open up a French wine from that I got at Total Wine. And this is a Cabernet Franc, which I love Cabernet Francs. And I was like reading into this label, and it's actually pretty cool because it's not like a typical like winery producer situation. It's actually like a group of growers association, I guess would be, or society. So this is a 2022 vintage. It's from Val de Loire, Saumur Champigny. So let me break this down into a couple of things. So Val de Loire is, which I hope I'm saying that right, it's spelled Loire. There's this river in France that's like the largest river in France, and like in the world it's like, I don't know, it was like 170, it's like the 171st largest river in the world, but in France it's actually the largest river, and the Loire Valley is very known, like it's known for producing wine. So this comes from the region or the area of where this wine is produced is called Saumur, which is spelled Saumur. And basically there's this thing called, let me get into my notes because I want to make sure that I'm saying it right. So they have this thing called Caves de Saumur. So Caves de Saumur is basically like a society of growers or an association of growers within the Saumur area that produce wine. And it started in like the 1950s, where it was just like a bunch of families and growers that had their own vines and were like, okay, why don't we start, making as a small production, like each of them have their own vines and produce wine, but they just wanted like a society or an association to be able to produce and sell their wines. So they created that, which is Caves de Saumur is what it's called. And they started with about 60 growers, and now they're well over like 160 growers. I don't know the exact number, but it's definitely a lot bigger than when they started. And basically they just all stick to like sustainable practices when growing their vines and the grapes, and they stick to making like the best quality wine that they can within that region, which that region is well known for either making sparkling wines using traditional method or wines that are Cabernet Franc based. So this one's actually 100% Cabernet Franc. And I just thought it was cool because it's kind of like just from that area, from growers that just love to produce wines and wanted to get their wine out there. So I figured it was interesting to try. And it's actually at a great price point for a Cabernet Franc. It's $15.99, and also it's at a great price point for French wine in general, just because French wine do tend to be on the pricier side. It doesn't have any certification or anything, but I figured why not? Like, why not try it to see if this is worth, it's like a cheaper price for a Cabernet Franc. So let's see if it's worth it, So while I open this up, that is wet over there. Let me move my notebook I actually came across this video the other day. I'm on TikTok all the time. Let's be honest. And it was just talking about like obstacles and challenges, and then I was like, it got me thinking. It got me thinking about like imposter syndrome, right? Like I feel like everyone at one point or another has imposter syndrome, which is when you're in a certain space or a certain time in your life where you feel like, how the fuck did I get here and why am I here? Like you just feel like you're not, it's not that you're not where you need to be, because I think that's the opposite. I just feel like you feel like you're out of place, but in reality you're really not, because you're ready for that up level. Because I feel like obstacles and challenges are put in our way so that we can do what's necessary in order to upgrade or up level to the person that we need to be in that moment at that time, right? Because at the end of the day, you're in that space for a reason. You're not going to be in a space unless you're ready to be in that space. And sometimes when imposter syndrome kicks in, like you're already in that space, you already got that job, you already got that opportunity, and you're just kind of like, how the fuck did I get here? But you wouldn't be there if you weren't meant to be there, because I feel like every opportunity or space or person that you talk to or meet or whatever, like you're meant to be there at that time, at that moment. And like if you're just like being held back by like you not believing that, then you're gonna be thrown an obstacle or a challenge to like make sure that you believe that. Because at the end of the day, like you're ready for whatever you're put in, whatever situation you're put in, you're ready for it, whether you believe it or not. You know what I mean? So I just found it like interesting. Oh, I like the color of this wine. Sorry, I got distracted. I just found that like interesting because it's like, at the end of the day, like you're always gonna have an obstacle or a challenge in whatever you do or whatever you're trying to grow in or be better at. But like it's ultimately being put in your path for a reason. So like why not be like, okay, cool, like this is obviously trying to teach me to like up level in some way or upgrade in some way, because like, you know, it's getting you ready for that moment that you're in, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's try this wine. So already it's like very ruby red, like plum red color, which we love that. Oh. Cherry, I immediately got like cherry notes on the nose, mixed with some tobacco and firewood, whatever that means. Yeah, let's try it. Ooh. Oh, one thing I did read about this wine was like they do like post fermentation, they actually let the wine sit in the skins so that it can like extract the tannins from like the skins and the seeds. So that's probably why I taste what I taste. It's very heavy on the tannins. But that's like a common thing to do with Cabernet Franc, especially in France, is like post fermentation. They leave the skins and the seeds in there so that they can extract as much tannins and flavors from the skins and the seeds, especially the seeds, because the seeds give you a lot of tannins, and like immediately I'm getting that here. So I'm getting strong like cherry notes and like raspberry. Yeah. Strong cherry notes, raspberry, medium tannins. It's kind of like it lingers on your tongue. Like I'm not gonna say it's harsh tannins because I've had harsher tannins before, but it's medium tannins. So it like kind of sits in your tongue and then goes down. So honestly, it's a very good Cabernet Franc. But for me, I prefer my Cabernet Francs a little bit smoother and not as harsh as this one. But for the price point, I can't complain. Like I think it's very good, but I have other Cabernet Francs that I would prefer rather than this one. I feel like I taste the post fermentation soaking of the skins in the wine right now. So for my preference, I would prefer another Cabernet Franc, or I would just drink like another grape varietal if I want like harsh tannins. That's just me. But overall, it's not a bad wine at all. I would rate it based off of my taste buds an 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth a try, definitely worth the price point. It's $15.99 at Total Wine. And I will definitely link it in the show notes below. But let me know if you try this. Let me know if you like this. Let me know if you don't like this. I think it's not bad at all. Like I said, it's worth trying, especially for $16. Not a bad price point at all for a French wine. And I like the story behind it. I like that like it comes from small producers, basically from a region in France. I think that's super cool, you know? Anyways, I hope you get to try this wine. I hope you drink wine tonight. And if you do try this wine, let me know. Let me know what you think. Cheers. I'll see you guys on the next one.